What's going on, guys? Architecture here, and today I want to talk about lore in video games, how important lore is. I have a lot of discussions with people before who aren't a big fan of lore being so important in video games, and it can get to a heated conversation because in the community there's a lot of people who just want to play video games. They don't care about story. They don't care about lore. They just want to be able to play the game. They care about gameplay more than anything else. And there's people who are like me who are really into lore. So how important is lore? Well, depends what game you're playing. If you're playing, Call of Duty or Battlefield, the only important lore is how accurate it is towards, history. If it's a World War I game, World War II game, Vietnam game, if it's a futuristic game, it doesn't really matter. But those games' core component is their multiplayer. It's not, you don't need to have lore for multiplayer. So if you're a Call of Duty player or a Battlefield player, you don't really care about lore. But if you're playing a game like Skyrim or Dragon Age or Mass Effect or even Halo, lore is a big deal. Those games are heavily influenced and focused around its lore. You can play through a Halo game perfectly fine without caring about lore, but if someone's having a conversation, talking about anything in detail, it goes over your head because you didn't pay attention to the story, you didn't pay attention to the terminals, you didn't pay attention to anything that's around the game outside of just shooting Covenant. And the same goes for Skyrim. You can play through Skyrim just doing the missions all itself, but again, things go over your head if you're not reading the books that you find along the way, if you're not listening to the things that NPCs are saying. Like, I've posted a video before about Dishonor and how, in Dishonored 1, there's hints that Emily is Corvo's kid, and you don't really notice that until you play Dishonored 2, but if you play Dishonored 1 and you focus on the lore, you pick up on it. So what I'm saying is, if you're someone who just plays the game, and Dishonored 1, you would never even think of Emily being Corvo's kid. You just think of, hey, he's the royal protector, he's the bodyguard to Jessamine. That's it. But if you read the books, if you listen to the NPCs, you start to notice, okay, Corvo is actually Emily's freaking dad. In the second game, they actually confirmed that in with her being his kid. So there's things that you won't notice when it comes to a game if you're just playing the game just to play it. If you're playing Mass Effect 3, you're just playing through it and you see something like the Ignition video theory, then you be like, okay, this makes no sense. I didn't say anything in the game that you could even hint towards this being a possibility. But if you read the codex, if you read anything about the Reapers and Indoctrination, you will notice that all this is very possible. So the bottom line is, when it comes to lore versus gameplay, is lore gives you, the backstory. It's not just the story itself. It gives you everything that you need to know about anything in a story. About individual characters, about the landscape, about the map, about the vehicles, about everything in the game that exists can be told to you through lore. And gameplay is just that. It's gameplay. It's how the game plays. It's how the game feels. Is the shooting mechanics, the abilities, the move sets, things like that. That's all gameplay. And it's great to have both. It's not if you're gonna have just one multiplayer game, have gameplay. Single player game, have lore. But it's better to have both. It's way better if a game can give you both gameplay and lore. Dark Souls does that very well. Dark Souls is a game where you have to create your own lore. There's a lot of things around you. There's the armor sets have lore in them. The weapons have lore to them. All the items you pick up in Dark Souls have lore tied to them to give you information on what's going on. Everything around you tells you the story, but it's up to you, the player, to piece it all together. Dark Souls isn't going to tell you what's happening. The biggest content of lore you're going to get in Dark Souls is the beginning of the game cutscene. That's it. That one cinematic is the biggest, the biggest piece of lore you're going to get told to you. After that, you got to piece together all the lore in the game yourself and speculate on other things. Dark Souls is a lot of speculation. When you watch any kind of lore video on Dark Souls, it's all filled with speculating based on the lore that those people have gathered up from around them in the games. So you have something like Dark Souls, which is very unique. Not a lot of games do it. Not a lot of games have you yourself, find the lore and then put it together. A lot of games will just, this is what you need to know, and that's it. Most games do not have you interact with the lore, and I think that's something that makes Dark Souls a great game. At the same time, there's people who don't like that about Dark Souls. I saw a video before about a guy saying he doesn't like that Dark Souls narrative basically doesn't even exist, and I comment on a video saying that the narrative in Dark Souls is you. You are the narrative. You're narrating what happens in this game. It's all about you, the player, finding the lore and putting it together. But to him, he doesn't like Dark Souls because he has to do that. Again, other single player games, they focus on telling you the story, not you finding the story out yourself. So I guess my point of this video is I want to tell people who are not very lore savvy, they don't really care about lore, that just because you don't care about lore doesn't mean other people aren't happy to have it. One of the guys I got into an argument with, he was very adamant on pointing out that he hates that Halo 4 and Halo 5 focus so heavily on you knowing the lore of Halo. They're not the other Halo games, you don't have to know the Halo lore to understand the story. But in Halo 4, Halo 5, if you don't know the lore behind the games, if you didn't play the first 3 games, if you didn't read the books, if you didn't watch Nightfall, if you didn't watch War Unto Dawn, you don't know anything going on in those games. You don't know who Lasky is if you didn't watch War Unto Dawn. You don't know who Locke is if you didn't watch Nightfall. So he was angry because he hates that Halo it cuts off so much of his story and put it into a TV series or a movie or books. And if you are a lore buff, you don't really care as much because you read the books, you saw the TV show, you saw the For Unto Dawn little mini short movie. So you saw all those things, you read all those things, and you read the Eternal, so you know what's going on. You can piece together everything in both these games that's going on. But if you didn't read those things, it's all over your head. It's like that Jeff Donnelly skit with Peanut where he just goes, the game lore, and if you don't focus on lore, that's you. It's just going over your head. But again, you don't have to focus on lore. You can be someone who just plays the game to play the game. There's a lot of people out there who just do not play single player games, so they don't care about lore. They just want to play a video game, and that's it. And those people, they love games like Call of Duty. They love games that just let you go in, pick up and play, start shooting shit, put it down, and then go on to something else. Sport games are the same way. You can just cut a sport game on. You don't care about story. So if I say that I wish Madden would have a My Career mode similar to that of NBA Live, to NBA 2K, if someone will go, why? That's dumb. I don't care about having cut scenes and story in my football game. And the same thing for any other sport game. But there's also people who are like, hey, I really like that whole cutscene aspect of NBA 2K and the story-driven aspect of 2K. Even though the 2K18 kind of went backwards when it comes to telling a story in the My Career mode. But I guess a better example would be FIFA's The Journey. Journey is a very cinematic, story-driven story campaign for a sport game, and it's a very good campaign. And a lot of people play FIFA won't even care about it. But if you're someone who really likes story, you will love The Journey. But anyways, guys, this video I just want to talk about how important lore is and why I'm a big lore guy, and the difference between lore and gameplay, and how there are people who are arguing about how important one is compared to the other. And truthfully, anything games want to have an argument behind it. You can argue with anything on YouTube, anything video games, and this is just another one of those things that people are indifferent about. People, they love lore. People don't even care about lore. So my question to you guys is, do you care about lore? Is lore a big thing to you, or are you one of the people who just like, hey, I just want to play video games, I don't care about lore. If I play a single player game, the single player game needs to tell me what's going on, and that's it. I shouldn't have to read a comic book or a novel or watch a TV series movie to figure out what's going on in the game. I just want to play the game. And another game I'll give as an example to this is Final Fantasy 15. In Final Fantasy 15, there's a prequel movie to the game. The King's Glaive is basically the prequel to the 15 game, and everything. There's cutscenes of 15 that are part of the movie, and if you don't watch the movie, you don't understand those cutscenes. So that's another game where you can just say, or there's people who don't watch movies and don't care about lore. They'll be like, I don't understand these cutscenes. I don't understand what's going on in this video game story because there's all these characters and cinematic cutscenes that I don't get. But if you watch the movie, you will see that all this lines in with. You'll understand what these cutscenes mean. You understand the lore. And I got into argument with about that too. And I was saying that they should just put that all into the game, and that's the biggest argument that people who don't care about lore come up with. They just say put it all into the game. And the truth of the matter is, you really can't. Sometimes you can only put so much into a video game, and when you don't want to make something a DLC or some kind of post-launch thing, you just make a movie, you make a TV show, you make a book, and you say, okay, here is some extra content to go along with your game. And that to me is great. I love having extra content with my game, and extra content that's not even going to be a DLC. DLCs, they're great when they're well thought out expansions, but there's certain things that they don't need to be DLC. You don't need to have the King's Glaive movie be a DLC. You can just have it be a movie that you watch before you play the game, and then that's it. The same thing goes like with Halo with Halo Nightfall or War Unto Dawn. Those are things that are better as they are and not put into the game as some kind of DLC that you gotta pay for. But anyways, guys, that is it for me. I've been Archangel, the real underscore talent of YouTube. So I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.